Shalom, shalom, Yashallah. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Ka'ala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful election to be elect, most high will. Scattered abroad, the contrite spirits returning back to the most high. Extended elect, men, women, and children, blessings. This is I don't even know where this movie is from, but it's one of those slave movies, and they might try to say this copyright whatever. They don't do it on other videos, but when you come out with some information about exposing their asses, they'll flag you. They'll copyright. Because I've done other videos about other subject, not so much directly pertaining to, slavery. So they like we always say, man, they're trying to change the narrative. They're trying to change the direction. And this is a so-called white woman telling a so-called black slave. Now, we say so-called white because they're really red. They're Edomites in the Bible. Edom means red, out of womb. It's not from the ground. It's not the same thing as Adam. It's red people. The blood shows through their translucent skin. And Most High, in every aspect in the Bible, the Most High points them out to be red. They like red meat. They're people of blood. They love murder, Since thou hast not hated murder, that shall pursue blood. Since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. So this is her kind of like nonchalantly telling her so-called slave, because we're really royal people, and it tells you that in the scriptures. We are in this condition because of, disobedient to the Most High. And 1,000 years is one day to the Most High. So it's not like the Most High forgot us. Like, oh, well, God hasn't returned. So I don't think you people are telling the truth about you being the special people or, the ones God had chosen, because it's been a long ass time. Well, to the Most High, it's not been that long. Damn devils, man. But anyway, she's telling, this so-called black woman who's an Israelite, that, nonchalantly, which means calmly, without nerve, without, like it's normal, like a normal conversation. Yeah, you're gonna be my slave, like she's supposed to be happy about that. But let me.
What it means is that Uncle William will make a present of you. You'll be my slave, Kizzy. We'll be together forever. And you won't ever have to be afraid of anything again, because I'll protect you, Kizzy. Always.
And then demon ass smile, and then let me get that scripture. It says they think their houses continue forever. They think their houses continue forever, King James Version. So, part of that too is their houses is of course, the houses of your father, which means your heritage, which means your people, which means the land and everything that comes with it, So she said, we'll be together forever, and as you'll be my slave forever, I'll be your, and we'll do it that way, and we'll grow old together. She's not talking about equality, which is BS. There's no such thing as equality. She's not talking about, well, you're gonna have your own land and riches. I'll be able to come visit you, and you'll have your mansion and your family and your crops and your farming and all that. You'll have, and our fathers can, she's talking about her being her slave forever. It says, Psalms 49:11, it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and even their slaves. That's why you have, our people with their with their names on us as property, as slaves. But let's see what she says.
Wouldn't you like that?
See, wouldn't you like that?
I likes you, Missy Ann. You my best friend, always was, but
But why?
there seems just so much happening all of a sudden.
Hey, it's wonderful, all of it. You'll come here to live, Kizzy, here with me.
Never lived no place but Massa's.
It'll be much nicer here. You'll have a room of your own, right next to mine.
Never been away from my mom and my papa.
Well, Papa Toby will be back and forth with Uncle William, and we'll be over to see Maribel near as much as we'll be here. Oh, it'll be better than ever for you and me, Kizzy. And it'll be legal. You hear me, Kizzy? Legal.
Don't know nothing about legal.
Oh, well, legal is, it's just the law. Black people are slaves and white people own them. That's just the way it is.
I know.
See, just that's the normal. That's just how it is. Well, it ain't gonna be that way forever, and it wasn't that way forever, because now this so-called white man is being exposed, and everybody hates this devil. All the melanated dark nations hate this devil, and even United States, as it says in the scriptures, all the nations shall hate the whore. Whore is America.
Just don't understand it, I guess.
Well, think of it this way, Kizzy. It's the natural way of things. I suppose it's because white folks are just naturally smarter than niggers.
And that's not the case. They took our, not only stole our heritage, because what did it say? The wisdom of the world is foolishness with the Most High. Like these dumbass devils, they'll risk their lives to go up there in the firmaments in the powers of the so-called universe. Well, the heavens and the what the Most High made, and try to either live up there or try to discover things, and that's and they getting ready to be brought down from there. Or trying to put robotic device into humans and think that's a thing. Foolishness, man. But according to what? According to scientists, were there any so-called black scientists? They are, but what did they have to say about whether the Negro's smarter or what have you?
Like men are smarter than women. Now everyone knows that, for heaven's sake.
Well, she got that right, but you can't equate that with reverence that to Negroes and so-called white people. I would say this: so-called white people are exposed to more things. And it says that a man well-traveled is. Let me get that scripture. So they get to travel and see things, because they're rich. So they're gonna have more mental images, more knowledge to grasp from. A man well-traveled, King James Version. Sirach 34:9, it says, I gotta find a way to. Sirach 34:9, a man that have traveled knoweth many things. Yeah, and these devils, they go across the world. Most High said his dwelling should be the fatness of the earth. So that's why they got Discovery Channel. That's why they got such thing as colonization, because they go over these lands and when they ramshack the land or set up in the land, they start to look for stuff and discover things and go to some uninhabited places, like they thought they were when they came to it. Well, they knew this place was inhabited, because they brought Hebrew interpreters and they read the Apocrypha, and they had Hebrew Israelites still in somewhat prominent places over there in what they call Europe. So it says, travel many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. See? So they have experience. They travel, they see things, they learn things. And even back in slavery, you couldn't read. So, how you going to say Negroes or so-called white people are smarter, but we can't, this an outlaw to read, you know? And it says in the Bible, this man is not a fair man, you know? He's a liar. He's a forger. He's a forger of lies. And he's not fair. See, the Most High is fair. That's why he gave the so-called white man, this kingdom to rule for a amount of time. And he said, well, hey, if you could do it, if you could do better than my people, not, putting words in the Most High's mouth, but, it says, if the so-called white man got this kingdom, this in America, he got power, and look what he's doing. He's nobody's happy. He's worried about anarchy. He's worried about insurrection. He's worried about, his existence. That's why he's going underground, trying to go into the firmaments, trying to come up with these cosmetic methods to long life and longevity by means of drugs, pills, or whatever. So, if that was the case, that he was so secure in his existence, he wouldn't be doing all this, man. Anyway, see what it says more.
You mean that's the way God made it?
Exactly.
Let me get that scripture right quick. Wisdom of the world is foolishness with the Most High, King James Version. See, they have the wisdom of the world. It says 1 Corinthians 3:19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, which is the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, even his son, express image. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Yeah, they think they're smarter. They think they're wiser. Yeah, it does say he is wiser than Daniel, but in Obadiah says, who shall search out the things of Esau, the wisdom of Esau? Let me get that. Who shall search out the wisdom of Esau, King James Version? Yeah. Obadiah 1:6, and this is basically his identification, his ID card. This chapter, Obadiah. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? I have to go before that. Let me get to the whole chapter. And I don't want to really read all this right now. Yeah, because his hidden things is a part of him, promoting his wisdom. Because it's like if you hide something from somebody, then you're like if I made a game and I don't tell anybody the secrets of how to win the game, then I have superiority over them. So if he has a nation locked into slavery, and and even when they're loose from their chains, so to speak, and he still, and all his things are underground and hidden or whatever, and he has a secret society, then, nobody can figure out what's really going on with him. And then he puts the Christian face up and the Christian churches up as the nice guy. And then everybody's going to be like, yeah, this so-called white man, he's coming out with all these inventions and phone system and the the education, the school system, and it seems like he's smarter. In some cases, he have been, like I said, experienced in those things by traveling, by having the might to do so and to invent, and if you trying to invent something and somebody come and say, hey, what you doing, and you tussling with the man because he wants your invention, and he might slay you or whatever. Well, he owns that invention now. That's why they came up with something like called patent. But when we were in slavery, everything he invented was what we were able to do, but we wouldn't. It wasn't publicized because if you there's a list, and sometimes the brothers go into it. They show it that all these inventions that were created by the so-called Negro or Latinos or Native Americans. The first open heart surgery was by either a Negro or Native American, so-called Native American, which are they're related. They're brothers. It basically consists of 12 tribes of Israel, along with the so-called Latinos. But and then it's such things called influence and encouragement. And so if you, let's say you go to school and then you learning about something that you're not interested in, just because you're flunking that class, so to speak, that's what they call it. That don't mean you dumb. It's just like you're not interested in that shit. I'm not interested in learning about a so-called white man and his travels and his horse and carriage and shit during 1800s. I'm not interested unless it has to do overall with me learning about my own people and heritage. It says, and you could read through, this is the point I was trying to make in verse 8. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Yeah. Because especially when America go down, they're not gonna. The Edomites that stand far off, the elites, they're gonna be in confusion. Even though it was prophesied, they're gonna be like, damn, I don't understand. We were a great people because this is they're still connected. This is the harlot that rises up on the beast. The beast is NATO, EU. They have a military and economic system. So and they bank through this harlot, and to come about the new world order. And verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob shall shame cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So their wisdom is being found out. They're like it's almost like when you see a movie, they're exposing themselves. And I'm not saying that's the epitome of what I'm talking about or the core of what I'm talking about. But when you see a movie, you see these Marvel movies, you see a movie like Superman, you see a movie like Batman, and then they show you the green screen. You be like, and the green screen is like, damn, this dude is, he's not even flying. He's on a some sport to speak a table with his arms out, and it looks like they make it look like he's flying. So now we used to have the what did it say about it says it's either Moses or Joseph. They said his wisdom excelled exceeded the Egyptians, and Most High said he chosen the foolish things to confound the wise. So they're not that, they're not up on their game that much. You can't give Edom that much credit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these behind the curtain inventions, like I said, like it's documented, is Jake. That's why you had what is that called? It's those 4 black women, and they figured out some key things to the space program. I forget what it's called. It might come to me. But I mean, like I said, that list of inventions. You find out that the Matrix in the Terminator, one of the 2 of the most iconic movies, was written by a so-called black woman. But even more so, the so-called black man and things he invented that they covered up. So let me go.
So if it
We'll
wasn't
start to
right,
close
he'd
up.
change it, wouldn't he?
Wait a minute. She said if
Expect so. Expect so.
He'd change it, wouldn't he? So if it wasn't right, why he...
God made it.
Exactly.
she says that's what the God made it. She said exactly, and she's going to say
So if it wasn't right, why he'd change it, wouldn't he?
if it wasn't right, he is going to change it because it ain't right. You know, it's not right, man. Now they held the Bible as the book of the law. I think 1983 with Ronald Reagan, and now they held accountable because hey, you got a good book in your hand. You read it in the law, in your court system, so to speak, but they really don't follow it. They really don't, open it up. It's not like I said when you get if you get pulled over by the police, they're not going to pull out the Bible or they're not going to quote a scripture, so they don't live by the book of the land. I mean, they don't live by the Bible, but, the Most High is going to change it because he said by unrighteous dealings, because of unrighteous dealings, riches got by deceit, lies and all that, the kingdom is translated into another. So we're not going to be on the bottom forever. And that's showing today because they're getting exposed. And, truth sayers are coming out, and they're not only so-called black people or of any other of these melanated nations. Edom is coming out against his own people. Whistleblowers in the military. Truth says about the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Most High, which was to be covered up and investigated and studied till they would try to figure it out but now it's out, the cat's out the bag. Anyway.
Expect so. Abolitionist wants to change it, Missy Ann.
If we weren't friends, Kissy, I could have you punished for even mentioning the abolitionists.
Abolitionists and that bullshit about President Lincoln and that freeing the slaves and the abolishment of slavery is bullshit, man. And we tell you that all the time. Emancipation Proclamation, went from one ownership to the next. It's like, so to speak, a dog with a slightly bigger doghouse. Still a slave.
I know that.
But we are friends, so I'll explain it to you.
And that's how they were. They was like, well, we could be friends as long as you understand I'm supreme. You got a Karen that'll come out and smile at you every day, living next door to her, smiling every day until, and she'll invite you over to dinner until she sees you do something she don't like. And then she's like, get out of here, nigger. And you're going to not invited to my house no more. I'll have you arrested. And we got shotguns and all that. So that's not a true friend. That's a fucking enemy, man.
They are evil people, like Quakers. They're against God.
They is. Papa wants to get back to masses. Don't want to run into any patrollers after it gets dark.
Kizzy, don't you want to be my slave? Aren't you my friend?
Of course I'm your friend.
So being a slave is considered your friend. If you don't want to be a slave, then you don't want to be the so-called white man's friend, which is betrayal to him.
Missy Ann, I just has to ask my mama and my papa.
Oh, no, I'll ask them. I want to be the one. I'll be back at Uncle William's in a week. I'll ask him then. Till then, it's to be our secret. Just yours and mine.
devil the Bible speaks of, man. And let me get this. A couple more scriptures to close out. Um, what was that one? Damn, I was just thinking of it, man. I can get this one. Smooth as butter, King James Version. Yeah, I wanted to do that other one. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart and his mind. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So-called the spirit and character of the so-called white man. And he said, "Don't you want to be my slave? Aren't you my friend?" It says, "Trust not every spirit." It says, "Try a friend." Try a friend, King James Version. Sirach 6 and 7, it says, "If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him," man. And this bitch is just like smiling through her teeth, like, "Don't you want to be my slave? Forever, we'll live together forever, Kizzy, Izzy, whatever, was he?" He that leadeth in captivity, King James Version. So these devils are going into the depths of hell. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword, which they did, must be killed with the sword. You know? Hey, they always say, reap what you sow, you know? They have a law of execution where they execute people for the crime that they did. Remember, there was no criminal system among them, you know, in slavery. Some bits of other historical times. You had the Berger family, which was first crime family, pretty much. They got a movie on it. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You know? And it's nothing wrong with supremacy. They make you think, like, when it's black supremacy, then there's something wrong. It's like, but their supremacy is like subliminal, you know? They did it back then, boldly back then, but now it's subliminal. But now we're the ones that's, terrorists if we talk about black supremacy. Well, somebody's supreme. One's supreme more than it can't be two nations that are supreme, at the same time, or two nations that's ruling at the same time. Oh yeah, that master, that one. Let me get before I forget it. Master in heaven, King James Version. Matthew 19 and 16, and behold, one came and said unto him, "Good master, what good things shall I do that I may?" Let me see. "And ye masters, be good to your servants," King James Version. It says, Ephesians 6 and 5, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and sincerity of heart, just as you obey Yahweh Shai." And see that now when a Jake read this, he be thinking like, "Oh, this is a so-called white man's book." Just because it says that. Well, you go to the same Negroes that say this, that are opposed to this. They go to the job and they have bosses and they do what their bosses say. He's a master over you. If he say, "I need these boxes over here," or he say, "I need a truck empty over here," you gonna have to do that shit, or you don't get paid. And Jake got rent, and Jake got things that he had to do as a responsible so-called citizen in this place. So yeah, that's your master. so to speak. Serve wholehearted as if you were serving the Lord, not people, because you know that the Lord will reward each one of you wherever good that you do, whether they are slave or free. And masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them. What did they do? They threatened us. I'm reading from the Bible Gateway version. Do not threaten them, since you know that he who in both their masters and yours is in heaven, and there is no favoritism with him. Yeah. So did the so-called white man abide by that? Did he abide that it was a master over him from the heavens? No. Didn't it say don't beat your slave or exceeded 40 lashes? No, what did he do? He broke the back of the slaves 100 lashes more. So they wasn't abiding the Bible. They wasn't abiding by the Bible. They wouldn't have wrote this. They wouldn't have written this Bible. Because you know how they do. When they have laws and policies, they go by them. Trump come in and he say, "Well, this is the new law," and they exercise that shit. Sometimes Jay